Top banks target $3 billion fund in foreign capital markets. Details on page 2. And then the rider, Access, GTCO, UBA, FBN, Zenith may issue Euro bonds. Lenders seek shareholders' approval for right issue. Banking stock sell-off led 633 billion naira equity market loss. Tier 2 banks M and A likely, and that's according to Fitch analysts. Now we'll go to the top strip. Labour asks federal government to unveil new minimum wage May 1st. Details on page 19. 720 billion naira lost to lower crude production in 2 months. And that's according to a report. Details on page 33. On humanitarian ministry, EFCC recovers fresh $445,000, which is about 3 billion naira equivalent. Details on page 19. And underneath it, we have on tariff hike, federal government begs workers as electricity union insist on strike. Details on page 33. And on the lower strip, we have let freed Chibok girls reunite with families. Community tells government. Details on page 3 and 42 respectively. On Yoruba Nation, security beefed up in southwest government houses. Details on page 42. No five-star treatment for Bobrisky, and that's according to NSC officials. Details on page 4 and 5 respectively. Finally, on Iran-Israel war, Nigeria G7 urge ceasefire, world leaders condemn attack. Details on page 19.
And that takes us to the Nigerian Tribune on the top strip. Flight ticket war. Nigerians stand to benefit more from stakeholders and wants federal government to call foreign airlines to order. Details on page 2. LNG supply. Shell tables claims against Venture Global. NLNG faces arbitration hurdles. Details on page 4. And PDP chairman uncertainty in Wike's camp. Details on page 23. Invasion of Oyo Secretariat. Tight security in Osun, Ekiti, Kwara, Ondo, Ogun. And governors and police urge residents to remain calm. Says no cause for alarm. Afenifere, CCII and others condemn attack. It's on page 3. And road accident claims 19 in Oyo. It's on page 25. EFCC recovers 32.7 billion naira, $445,000 from Humanitarian Affairs Ministry officials. Details on page 25. SON blames iron steel distributors over sale of substandard products. Details on page 6. 15 arrested as gunmen attack Ogun villages. Details on page 25. Chibok, 21 released girls returned with 34 children. Murtala Mohammed Foundation saying that. And U.S. pledges support for Nigeria's anti-terrorism war. Victims, families find solution to incessant attacks on schools. NUT tells federal government and state governments. Safe School Initiative, federal government to engage hunters, vigilantes on intelligence gathering. It is on pages 24 and 29 respectively, and that's it on the Tribune.
All right, now finally we go to the Daily Trust, and on the front page we uncovered more fraud in humanitarian ministry. Details on page 4, and that's according to EFCC. Says probe of past suspended officials yield 32.7 billion naira, $445,000 recovery. Investigating abuse of COVID-19 funds, World Bank loan. Now we'll go to the top strip. Consumer decry low supplies disco prioritize band A. Details on page 3. We're yet to see naira gain. Food prices still high, and that's according to Nigerians. Details on page 19. Abducted Zamfara Varsity student, NYSC members, others rescued. Details on page 7. And then on the left corner, we have 19 killed in Oyo Ogbomoso road crash. Details on page 7. 21 Chibok girls return with 34 kids. 48 parents die in trauma. Details on page 33. DSS arrests El Rufai's ally, Aisha, over Facebook post against Governor Sani. Details on page 7. And the big story down there says US, EU, others warn Iran-Israel conflict could destabilize the Middle East. And of course, oil price may hit $90. Iran summon UK, French, German envoy overstands. Details on page 4.
Okay, that's the last newspaper that we'll be looking at this morning. Lots of trending stories. The tariff hike is still in the news, still making the rounds. Nigerians are still complaining. And now workers in that sector are saying if nothing is done, they might be down in tools and going on strike. And the federal government is saying, please don't go on strike. We'll try to fix it. How do you intend to fix it? Nothing is being said towards that direction of the conversation. Matter of fact, consumers who are drafted into the said Band A are saying we're not getting power, not to talk of getting as much as we were promised or as much as we're being made to pay for. And I just read in the top stories this morning that Ikeja DC is trying to widen the Band A coverage, right? Include more areas, and I did mention some Ikorodu, Magodo, and those kind of areas. And it doesn't make sense because you already have people in this Band A. You're not supplying them enough. Why are you widening it? If you're going to be widening it, that might also be a welcome development. But how do you intend to cater to this number of persons that you're trying to put under all that pressure? Because it doesn't make any sense. How do you react to this, Josh?
Yeah, it reminds me of the days of Nitel, especially when that monopoly of providing telecommunication service, was, given to that particular entity. Nigerians were at the whims and caprices of Nitel. So when it means that with Nitel, flops in their service delivery, you got no choice because you cannot switch to any alternative source, to get your telecommunication services. And if they introduce a new tariff into the system, of course, you've got no choice. So you're stuck in between. And then looking at that sector, at some point, there was a privatization, especially during the days of Obasanjo within 1990. 2000, where some other companies were brought in, and then we had a very stiff competitive market, the likes of MTN, Airtel, and of course we have an indigenous mobile network called Glo, and then we started getting efficiency. So looking at the electricity sector is not in any way immune to that fact, because obviously they are saddled with the responsibility of distributing power that has been generated and transmitted. But then again, you put people on a particular band, you've not improved efficiency. Even people within that band do not even experience the said 20 or 24 hours electricity supply. Rather than improve on it, you are bringing more persons in a bit to widen the network. So people who are already there that are not experiencing efficiency, what makes it possible that people whom you're also bringing in or including into that bracket would also experience such? There's no possibility. Even while we're still grappling with that, we're still grappling with the issue of, incrementing the tariff, which Nigerians are yet to absorb. Why we're even yet to absorb that, the union within us, threatening to go on strike, because obviously it is a wrong timing. You have not even improved efficiency. You're talking about,
and the welfare of members
so there are a whole lot of issues. So this hasty approach, by federal government, especially this administration, is really ridiculous, honestly.
It is, and for a sector that is as crucial as power, you would expect that the persons who are in control of these things would be very apt, in decision making, apt in changing things. I'm not saying any sector, deserves the type of knee-jerk and slow perspective to doing things that this administration has consistently shown. I'm just saying that power kind of after oil and gas and fuel. I think power drives the next. If power sneezes, everybody gets a cold because everybody is affected, from industries to ministries to regular individuals to MSMEs, small and medium.
Oil right about now is not something to bank on because already we have so much debt to cover. So even when we sell our crude oil, 90% of it goes into servicing of debt. So how much is left to take care of all that issues? So electricity begins to be more of the new gold that will drive the economy.
And then for an administration that claims they want to improve on the economy, you know, wooing investors here and there and expecting foreign direct investments, and you don't have power. How do you intend to do that? If people are coming to invest in your country, and the basic thing is power, how will they drive the industry? If there is no power, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm done with, you know, good grammar and you know, big English. I'm done with that. These things are not rocket science. Somebody should have been held accountable by now. I mean, if a due process was followed to decide that we're going to share people into different bands, right, then you would have put some intricate things in perspective before you take such a decision. And you didn't tell us, you didn't do like a pilot part to it. You just woke up and then made a decision and it's biting you behind. It's just very sad. Honestly, it's just very sad. But of course, that's so much we have on the newspaper review.